Hi everyone, this is Veronica and today we are going to talk about herbivore census in Gujarat's Gir forest. So every summer the Forest Department of Gujarat they conduct an herbivore census in Gir forest, and there is a special reference to this year's herbivore census also. You can connect with me on Instagram and Facebook. This is a channel StudyIQ. If you're preparing for any government exam, our pen drive and tablet courses are also available. For additional information, you can call us on these numbers or you can visit our website too. Now, what is the relevance of this topic from examination point of view? In your mains paper 3, it will be covered here, and from UPSC perspective, at objective level, you should know about Asiatic Lion Census. Subjective level, you should know about what is Asiatic Lion Conservation Project. Now, what is the context that why we are reading it today? Now, see, every summer, as I told you, the Forest Department of Gujarat, they conduct a herbivore census in Gir forest. This year's exercise is of particular significance. Why? Because it is last herbivore census ahead of next year's lion census, which is once in a 5 years. So, there is a difference. There are two census. One is herbivore census, which takes place every year. But there is a lion census which takes place once in 5 years, and this herbivore census is significant because it is the last herbivore census ahead of next year's lion census. So now talking about herbivore census, herbivore usually covers ungulates. So what are the ungulates? These are the bigger mammals such as their spotted deer, blue bulls, which are known as nilgais, sambars, Indian gazelles, which are known as chinkaras, then four-horned antelopes and wild boars, as well as Indian langurs and peafowls also. So this year's exercise, as I told you, holds a special significance because here we are calculating the prey base for the carnivores animals. Now, what is the importance? Why it matters? See, wild ungulates and langurs are the main prey of Asiatic lions. These endangered species whose only wild population in the world is surviving in 22,000 square kilometer in the greater Gir area. Now, this count will provide a sense of available of prey base for lions as well as other predators like leopards, hyenas, wolves, because obviously there are not the only top carnivores are not the lions. There are other bigger animals also like leopards, hyenas and wolves. As I always tell you about the food chain, like there is grass which is eaten by the rabbit or deer, then rabbit and deers are eaten by lions and the bigger carnivores like hyenas, wolves. So the prey base has to be strong to satisfy the hunger of the bigger animals. That is why it is necessary, because a strong prey base can reduce depredation of livestock by animals and can reduce man-animal conflict. So here a strong prey base will reduce the man-animal conflict, because if the prey base is not that strong, then the lions will enter the human communities, human villages. They will try to feed upon the livestock available there which is being maintained by the humans there, and then we can see a man-animal conflict where animals will be killed by man. So to avoid that man-animal conflict, a strong prey base is very important. In 2013-14, the last herbivore census, herbivores were 1.32 lakh, higher than the 1.25 lakh which were counted in 2013. So we have seen in 13 it was 1.25 lakh in 12-13, and then in 13-14 we have seen the increase in the prey base, that is 1.32 lakh. Now the question is why it is done in summers. This is the main question here. Such census are always done in summer. See, during summer, the foliage is reduced to minimum in dry and deciduous tropical forest, which affords the best visibility for conducting these census. And even the wild animals, they concentrate around water points, which in Gir include 450 artificial ones filled by the forest department. Next thing is that the forest is divided into 19 routes and forest divisions for the census. So you can see there are 19 routes and divisions, which teams transacting routes thrice. So these forest officials go through these routes thrice in a day, that is like morning, afternoon and evening, and depending on direct sighting also, like when the visibility is clear for the census. Now 3 months after, before, if we go back 3 months, 20 lions in Gujarat succumbed to a virus the center and Gujarat government has announced 97.85 crore Asiatic Lion Conservation Project. So there is a project that is Asiatic Lion Conservation Project, and 97.85 crore was granted by the Gujarat center and the Gujarat government. The share is like 60-40. So there's a whole different video on this Asiatic Lion Conservation Project, though we will also talk in our video, in our lecture right now in brief. Now see, just talking about the population trend in recent years, this is very important. Like since 1974, the population of herbivores, Gir forest, has been on the rise. So you can see the Gir forest, the herbivores have been on rise after 1974. If we take example of 2013, we can see the ungulates, the bigger mammals, they have estimated from 76.49 animals per square kilometer. That means this, if we translate this to the biomass, that means 8,000 kg of biomass was available to the carnivores, very close to the levels of Serengeti National Park in Tanzania. And you know, these countries are very famous for their wildlife. So the population of ungulates was, you can see, 1,07,172 in 2010, and it has been on rise. So now there are two things now. One is Asiatic Lion Conservation in India, and then there is a separate project also. So first let me talk about the project in brief, Asiatic Lion Conservation Project. The Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climatic Change, they have launched the Asiatic Lion Conservation Project, and their aim was to protect, conserve the world's last ranging free population of Asiatic lion and its associated ecosystem also. This project, as I told you, will be funded by the centered sponsored scheme Development of Wildlife Habitat, with the contributing ratio being 60-40 of central and state share. So the conservation of Asiatic lion has always been a priority for Government of India. The ministry in the past has supported Asiatic lion in Gujarat by including it in the 21 critically endangered species under the species recovery component of the particular project, that is the development of wildlife habitat. Now just see Asiatic lions in India. If we talk about the conservation, once there was a time when they ranged from Persia, that is in Iran, to Palamau in eastern India, were most driven to extinction by indiscriminate. So there was a time when they used to be found in abundance, but now due to indiscriminate hunting, they have reached a level of extinction also. So just see here, a single population of less than 50 lions were left in 1890s, and then IUCN red list status, they got endangered. But with timely, there were efforts from the state government and central government, Asiatic lions have increased to the current population of 500. So if we'll go by the last census in 2015, we have seen the population of 523 Asiatic lions in Gir protected area. So that includes Gir National Park, Gir Sanctuary, Pania Sanctuary, Mityala Sanctuary, etc. Right? So this is all about today's lecture. Even you can tell us what are the ways to conserve, what projects we can take up to conserve the Asiatic lion status in our country, because these are left mainly in India with their wide ranges and we need to protect them. So this is about today's lecture. If you have any query, you can contact me on Instagram and Facebook. Now there's a Facebook page also, Veronica Online Education. For the regular videos updates, you can follow me there. Thank you.